Welcome to Eurobangla City SATV News. This is Shibala Alam with our headlines. Prime Minister urged to facilitate youths in learning about national heroes, inaugurates scroll painting on Bangabandhu's life at National Museum. Amor Ekushe Book Fair extended till March 17 as the number of COVID cases dropped significantly, said State Minister for Culture. Russian forces enter Kharkiv, street fighting underway. US and allies target fortress Russia with new sanctions including SWIFT ban. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina emphasized on informing the new generations about the struggles and sacrifice behind the achievements of the country. She said this while inaugurating a 150 feet long scroll painting on the life of father of the nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman at the National Museum, joining virtually. The Prime Minister also said the new generation needs to learn about the sacrifice and struggles as well as the value of patriotism. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said that there is an evil attempt to erase the name of Bangabandhu and his struggle and sacrifice from the history of the country after his brutal assassination in 1975. She suggested placing the scroll permanently at Bangabandhu Mausoleum in Tungipara, the birthplace of the Bangabandhu. State Minister for Cultural Affairs K.M. Khalid MP has said that the Amor Ekushe Book Fair will continue till March 17, the birth date of Bangabandhu. He made the comment in the minister's meeting room at the Secretariat today. Earlier, the publishers and writers demanded time extension of the book fair. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina gave an approval to extend the duration of the fair this morning, said Khalid. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, Amor Ekushe Book Fair began on February 15, which was usually scheduled to begin February 1st and end on February 28. Health Minister Zahid Malik today said 1 crore and 20 lakh people received COVID-19 vaccine yesterday during the orientation program of 42nd BCS Health Cadre held at Bangabandhu International Conference Centre. Through this mass vaccination, it has been possible to vaccinate more than the target of 1 crore, said the minister. Out of the total number, 1.11 crore were administered the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. About 73% of the population have been vaccinated so far. Health Secretary Lokman Hossain Mia and Director General of the Director General of Health Services Abul Bashar Mohammad Khurshid Alam, among others, were present on the occasion. Viewers are taking a short break. Stay with Eurobangla City SATV News. Bangla City SATV News. Now international news. In Ukraine, it is day 4 since Russia began its invasion of the country, prompting global condemnation and a wave of new sanctions on Moscow. Russian forces have been pushing towards the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Russian troops enter Kharkiv as Ukrainian oil and gas facilities burn. Dalia Nilufer has the latest.
Explosions have lit up the skies in Ukraine for 4 days straight. Ukrainian civilians have armed themselves with guns, knives and even hammers, trying to stop the Russian troops from getting into the city. Ukraine said some 3,500 Russian personnel have been killed and 200 have been captured. However, Russia said it was going to send a delegation for talks in Belarus, but Ukraine says it objected to the conditions for talks. Ukraine's health minister said nearly 200 Ukrainian troops and civilians have been killed so far. At least 150,000 people have been reportedly fled Ukraine to other neighboring countries like Poland and Hungary. But UN officials say this number could rise to as high as 4 million. On the flip side, Russia has been wrongly condemned for the invasion, of course, and leaders have announced what they say will be severe consequences for Moscow, with the sanctions focused on cutting Russia out of the global financial system. Meantime, international sanctions are mounting against Russia, along with the US and the UK, and a growing number of European countries, including France, Italy and Germany, have agreed to ban Russia using SWIFT, the communication system that connects thousands of financial institutions around the world. That would make it much harder for Russian companies to do business and engage in international trade. These countries are also going to block Russia from withdrawing some $600 billion worth of reserves in their central bank. Meanwhile, Germany is also sending Ukrainian troops some 1,000 anti-tank weapons and 500 Stinger missiles. And the US is asking for active support from its NATO allies, including Australia, Japan and South Korea. Dalia Nilufar, SCTV News Desk.
Since the Taliban returned to power last year, border tensions between the neighbors have risen, with Pakistan alleging militant groups were planning attacks from Afghan soil. The Taliban deny harboring Pakistani militants, but also, infuriated by a fence Islamabad is erecting along the 2,700-kilometer border, drawn up in colonial times and known as the Durand Line. The border has reopened for all sorts of activities, a spokesperson for Pakistani's paramilitary border force told media. A security source said it came after successful talks between Pakistani officials and the governor of Afghanistan's Kandahar province. Deadly flooding on Australia's east coast caused massive damage to the country overnight. The death toll from the extreme weather rose to 6 as the rain bomb continued to move south Sunday. Huge downpours have battered eastern Australia for the better part of a week, unleashing decades-high inundating homes and roads and sweeping away cars. Mayor of Queensland capital city Brisbane described the weather system as a rain bomb above southeast Queensland. With the intense rain expected to continue into next week, more than 1,400 homes in Brisbane were at risk from the flood water. The Australian Bureau of Meteorological Department said more than 300 millimeter rain fell in some areas in the last 24 hours. Now sports news. Australia flew into Pakistan on Sunday for the first cricket tour in nearly a quarter of a century and into a high security bubble that will envelop them throughout their 6-week stay. Senior batsman Steve Smith posted a picture on Twitter of a 35-strong Australia tour party inside the charter flight's cabin after its touchdown in Islamabad. Local officials confirmed their arrival. The decision incensed Pakistan cricket authorities have done everything possible to ensure safety and security, with nearly 4,000 police and military personnel guarding the team hotel in Islamabad and the cricket stadium in Rawalpindi. The squad will be given head of state-level security, the Interior Ministry said. Roads will be blocked off when the Australians make the 15-kilometer commute, with the team bus to be shadowed by army helicopters. Snipers will be positioned on buildings surrounding the stadium, while nearby shops and offices have been ordered to close on match days. Similar arrangements will be in place for matches in Karachi and Lahore. Australia pulled out a tour 5 years earlier after a suicide blast at a Lahore church. They last played in Pakistan in 1998. Bangladesh-Afghanistan will meet tomorrow in the third ODI of the series. Bangladesh, which has already confirmed the series, will take the field with the aim of whitewashing Afghanistan. In the first match, Bangladesh won the toss and elected to the field, and the Tigers secured the series by showing single dominance in the second ODI. At the same time, Tamim Iqbal's team rose to the top of the ICC World Cup Super League. Besides whitewashing Afghanistan, Bangladesh would also like to increase the points. On the other hand, Afghanistan will want to leave the field with a win in the last match of the series. However, they will not get star all-rounder Rashid Khan in the match. The Afghan cricketer flew to play in the IPL plan. Before ending, we go to the Euro-Bangla City SCTV News headlines again. Prime Minister inaugurates 150 feet long scroll painting based on Father of the Nation Bangabandhu's life at National Museum. Amar Ekushe Book Fair extended till March 17 as the number of COVID cases dropped significantly, and State Minister for Culture. Russian forces enter Kharkiv, street fighting underway. US allies target fortress Russia with new sanctions including SWIFT ban. You're up to date so far here on Euro Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.